So today we're talking about personal finances. If you guys have never met me, my name is Chris. I'm an active duty Navy chaplain. And on my lunch breaks, I like to jump on live and talk about the same types of things I talk to my Marines about. And one of my collateral roles here at the command is I'm a command financial specialist. So I help Marines and sailors with budgets, with saving, with understanding their LES, their leave and earnings statement. And so it's an important piece, especially for junior service members, to understand how to get a hold of their finances while they are young. Most of my Marines tend to be between 18 and 21 years old here at the engineer school, and I wish that I knew at 18 what I know and what I try to teach now about personal finance, because now is the time for young people to really learn this and start putting it into practice. The first component, income. And that is actually something that you have some control over. Even in the military, there are ways for service members to get additional income. I have known service members who will get side jobs. They do side hustles in addition to being active duty. I have known enlisted sailors who will take second jobs that they work after the duty day is over. The second component of personal finance is your spending. And this is a big one. This is like one of the biggest ones that I hit with my Marines, is when it comes to looking at our spending, we need to be doing a budget. And you need to have that not just in your head, but you need to have like a written down budget, either on paper or on a spreadsheet. But personal budgeting is one of the best tools for having a good grip on your finances. And budgeting is not a bad word. A lot of people are afraid of the word budget. They think that budgets are going to take all the fun out of life. But really, budgets can help increase your amount of fun because you're telling your money where to go. And if you budget well, you can even budget for fun. You can put in your budget money for movies, for eating out, for vacations. So getting a hold of your spending, that's the number 2 component of personal finance, happens when we budget. So that leads us to the third component of personal finance, saving. So what should you be doing with your first paycheck when you're in boot camp? Save as much as possible. The benefit for young people joining the military is that usually, not always, but usually they don't have many bills to pay with. And when you're young, the saving piece is the big piece. You need to be, I tell my Marines, they should be dumping as much as they feel comfortable with into some sort of savings program, holding on to their money to plan for the future. Saving is not, it doesn't help us feel good in the here and now. It doesn't meet that immediate need, but it meets the future need. And the problem with young Marines is that they're still growing up. Their brains are not fully developed because that doesn't happen until mid to late 20s, but they need to be dumping as much money in. It's delayed gratification. Here's the thing, our culture, especially when we are young, we want immediate gratification. I want it now. Delayed gratification says, I'm not gonna have what I want now so that I'm set up to have what I want later on. And I wish I could get my Marines to understand that concept more. You guys need to be saving. And I tell my Marines, we talk about emergency funds. Everybody needs to have an emergency fund because the emergency fund takes the sting out of emergencies. Now, the emergency fund, when you have that savings, it doesn't remove emergencies from life. I wish it did. So it's not going to take the emergency away, but it takes the sting out of it when the emergency happens. Your truck breaks down, it's not a crisis, you've got the money in the emergency fund, you go fix it. All right, we don't like to have to pay for that stuff, but it's not a life-altering problem when the emergency hits. Saving money is fantastic. So you need to have an emergency fund, and what we call a fully funded emergency fund is when you've got 3 to 6 months of living expenses just set aside. And it's readily available, what we call liquid. So like just in a savings account, because a savings account isn't going to earn you much interest. So a savings account is not designed for long-term saving. It's designed to set the money aside, but it's still liquid because you could transfer it and have access to it within a day. Investing is when you are putting money away for the future, like a 401k, a retirement plan. And it is very important for service members to be doing investing in your retirement. But when, like my Marines now, they're living in the barracks, they're eating in the chow hall, a lot of their money is discretionary, so they could ostensibly dump a lot of money into their retirement. And ultimately, compound interest is going to be your friend. You get the money in now when you're young and just let that compound interest build up. And that's what's going to be their saving grace at the end. Dump as much as possible now that you can afford and let the compound interest do the work. Because, I mean, you're 20 years old, you're not going to retire for 40 years. So you got this investment and this retirement plan growing for decades. So I just wanted to hop on and say, hey, and to encourage you guys to really work on getting your personal finances under control through your income, through your spending, through your saving, through your investing, and through protecting yourself. You guys can do it. I know you can. It's not always easy, especially when we're living paycheck to paycheck, but it is possible even to work yourself out of a hole and get a better handle on your own personal finances.